Imagine that you've built an endpoint that loads a list of orders for a customer dashboard. In the dev environment, it's fast. You test it with your local data and everything works, so you push it to production. Then, a few weeks later, someone on the team or one of the users notices that the page is loading slowly. So you and the team add some logging. And what you see is the same query running over and over again with just the one number changing each time. Not 10 times, not 20 times, but hundreds of times just for a single page load. The code looks fine and it does exactly what you need it to. There are no bugs that you know of. And that's what makes this kind of issue a bit tricky to catch. In this video, I'll show you exactly what this issue is, what it's called, why it's so hard to catch, and then walk through how to solve it. If you want a reference guide to this problem, you can find it at the link in the description. Let's start with the name because it's actually a pretty clear description of what's happening. Say you run a query to fetch a list of orders. That's one query. Then, for each order in the result, you run another query to get the details of the customer who placed it. If you have 100 orders, that's 100 extra queries, plus the original one. So 101 total. The pattern is one query to get that list, then one more query per row to get something related. This pattern is called the n+1 or the n+1 query problem. It's called that because n rows equals n extra queries, plus the original, hence n+1. Now, this might not sound like much with 100 rows, but the problem scales as your data increases. 1,000 orders means 1,001 queries. 10,000 orders means 10,001 queries. Each query is a round trip to the database, and round trips are expensive. The other reason this is such a problem is that it hides pretty well. In development, your orders table might have 50 rows. The page loads in milliseconds and everything feels fine. In production, that same table has 500,000 rows, and now you're making hundreds of queries every time someone loads that page. So how does this end up in your code? The most common cause is a loop. You fetch a list of rows, and then inside that loop, you query the database again for each one. Here is a simple example. The first query fetches all orders. Then, for each order, we run a second query to get the customer's name. This looks reasonable and is quite readable. A developer who's focused on getting the right result could write this without really thinking about it. But look at what's happening from the database's perspective. If the orders query returns 500 rows, that loop runs 500 times. And each iteration will run a separate query to the customers table. The database isn't doing anything wrong here. It's running each of the queries that you write. But you're asking it 501 questions when you could have asked it one. This pattern comes up a lot with ORMs as well, which are things like SQL Alchemy, Active Record, or Hibernate. With an ORM, the queries aren't always visible in your code. You might write something like order.customer.name. This is a single property access, and you might have no idea that it's hitting the database every single time. That's what makes the ORM version particularly easy to miss. The n+1 problem is hidden behind a clean-looking API, and the only way to see it is to check the query log. Let me explain why this matters. The thing about n+1 is that it punishes you for having more data. Every time your table grows, the problem gets worse, as we kind of mentioned earlier. There's no real ceiling on it. A page load that generates 200 queries with a few hundred rows can generate 20,000 queries once you're in production with a large dataset. At some point, the database just can't keep up. What makes this harder to diagnose is that each individual query is usually fast. You're not looking for one slow query. You're looking for hundreds of fast queries that shouldn't be running at all. Most slow query logs won't surface this. They're designed to catch queries that take a long time to run. An n+1 query is the opposite problem because each query is quick, and there are so many of them that the cumulative time adds up to seconds of latency on every single request. And in a web application, every one of those round trips adds network latency on top of the query time itself. Even if each query only takes a few milliseconds, 500 of them in a sequence is a long time to wait. This is why these n+1 query problems tend to feel like a sudden deterioration. The code has been there for months and nobody changes anything, but the data kept growing and the query count or the latency or the delay just kept growing with it, and one day the page is just too slow to use. So how do you fix it? The fix for the n+1 problem is to reduce the number of round trips to the database. Instead of fetching related data one row at a time, you get everything you need in fewer queries. There are 3 ways to do this, and which one makes sense depends on your situation. The first approach is a join. This is usually the cleanest fix. Instead of fetching orders and customers in separate queries, you join the 2 tables together in one. You have one query. The database does the join and you get everything you need in the results set. There's no loop and no separate lookups. This is the right answer for most situations where you're fetching a list with related data. The second approach is something called eager loading. This is what most ORMs offer as the built-in fix for n+1. Instead of letting the ORM fetch related records lazily, which is one at a time, you tell it to fetch everything up front. The ORM handles it with 2 queries, something like this. One is to get the orders and one is to get all the related customers at once, using the in clause. You now have 2 queries, regardless of how many orders there are. That's a significant improvement over 501. The third approach is batching. This is the manual version of eager loading. It's useful when you can't use a join and you're not relying on an ORM. The idea is to collect all the IDs you need first and then run a single query to fetch all the related records at once. You now have 2 queries, one query for orders and one for all the customers at once. Then you assemble the result in your application code using a lookup. It's a bit more code than a join, but it can work when a join isn't practical. For example, when the related data is coming from a different service or a different database. So how do you find n+1 problems in the code you're already working with? The most reliable method is query logging. Most databases and frameworks have a way to log every query that runs, including how many queries were run per request. What you're looking for is repetition, the same query structure firing many times in quick succession with only an ID value changing between executions. I used this recently with the SQL Server Query Store, which is a feature on SQL Server. If you're using an ORM, check whether it has a debug mode or a query counter. Most of them do. You can turn it on, load a page, and count how many queries ran. In the application code itself, the quickest check is to search for database calls inside loops. That's not always a problem, and sometimes it's unavoidable, but it's a good signal. Anytime you're querying the database inside a for loop, it's worth thinking about whether that could be collapsed into a join or a batched query. In production, standard slow query logs often won't show n+1 directly because the individual queries aren't slow. Application performance monitoring tools are more useful here because they show you the total query count per request. If a page is making 300 queries when it should be making 5, that will show up. These n+1 query problems can be solved and can be a good way to improve the performance of your application and the database. The n+1 query problem cheat sheet in the description has all 3 fix patterns with SQL examples you can refer back to. And if you want to go deeper on query performance, you'll want to watch this video next, where I start with a slow query and improve how it performs. Thanks for watching.